I see you standing there, a soothing atmosphere. Smell of your aftershave, sweet blossom in the rain. You flip around your hair as if you're unaware, but you should know that I'm looking at you. You make me feel like I'm made of colors, just you and me, ignore the others. Do you believe in one-time lovers? 'Cause I do. I do, I do, I do, I do believe in lovers like me and you. Yeah, you just keep on dancing all night out on the roof. Tell everybody I do, baby, I do, I do, I do. Wanna stay here and let loose, just keep on loving.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are tackling this complete disaster of my son's room. The boys had gotten up here earlier today and they just had at it. While they were out walking with their dad, I tackled this area. It actually took me quite a while because, as you saw in last week's video, I organized the toys and I brought all of James's Legos upstairs to his room from our living room, and they were completely broken apart. There were more broken Legos than there were Legos that were put together. So I started out by putting them back together. It took me about 2 hours sitting there with all the instructions and going through and making sure I had all the pieces, and at the end of it there were still Legos that had pieces missing and I have no idea where they are. I still have not found them in my house. I know they're here, I just don't know where. So I started out by putting James's Legos back together and just organizing them. The plan is to organize them in the TV stand that I have here. They have 2 cabinets that are just full of junk from when I was younger that I am more than willing to put into storage so he can access his Legos where his brother cannot access his Legos, and he can play with them when he feels ready.
Kinda simple, kinda wishful about things, and you're kinda simple, but like a pistol, you fire. Sometimes you get up.
So once I got this one big Lego put back together, I started putting all the other ones that were still put together to the side. They were not missing pieces, so I was trying to separate them from the ones that still needed to get put back together, and then I started figuring out what was what and putting them back together, and it actually wasn't as hard. There were a few pieces that definitely needed more put together or putting together than anything else, but a lot of them were just missing a few pieces that I was able to click on. And I found that his vehicles, like he has a helicopter and a Jurassic World airplane and things like that, those were the ones that took longer to put together because they were dropped when he was playing with them and they just kind of combusted into a lot of pieces. So it took a lot more time to put those together, but once they were put together, this is all the end of all the Legos being put back together, and then I was able to move on to the rest of the room. So the ball pit, they were jumping and playing in there, and they love to throw the balls at each other. My kids are 2 and 4, so they're both boys, so they like to play very rough and they like to make big messes, and they do help me clean up. And you'll see later on, James does come back from the walk and help me do some stuff in here, but it it's okay. They make their mess and then they both do help me clean up, and they're learning. They're still young. But we lost about half the ball pit this day, so it was quite time consuming to clean up. But thankfully they also emptied the fridge, so I had the basket for the food to use to put all the ball pit balls back in to dump into the basket instead of putting them in handfuls at a time, which was nice.
How did we end up here in the corner looking like enemies? We used to be the team people talk about, what a chemistry. I can see it in your eyes. You don't wanna talk anymore. I wanna get so numb while we enemies. No, you don't mind the way I stutter my words. You know exactly what it means and how it hurts. Oh, I can't believe you're here. Can't get any worse. No. I just wanna get out of here. I find it so hard to breathe. 'Cause when you get too close, I lose my way and I freeze. I wish you knew what power you have over me, but now it's so hard to breathe. Just get me out of here. Just get me out of here.
I feel like once I was able to get the ball pit area cleaned up, it went a lot faster. It was a lot easier to clean things up, and then I had other things that I wanted to do up here. I had some decorations that James had gotten. Well, I guess they're not really decorations. They're little plaques for the wall, and he had told me where he wanted me to hang them, so I went ahead and did that for him as well. And he has so many hats and they were just laying around, so I just got command hooks and guesstimated hanging them on the wall in his room where he can easily access them, but they're not all over my couch or shoved in a basket somewhere or on his bed. He can see everything and he can access everything and enjoy his hats because he loves hats. They are his thing. He will always want a new hat no matter how many he has, and he wears them all. He alternates hats constantly. And this is him coming back from the walk with their dad, and he brought me a little flower from outside, and it was the cutest thing ever. And then after that, he asked me if he can stay upstairs with me, and of course I said yes. And he started finding things to help me clean, and he was a great help. And he also took advantage and played with his Legos, but he made sure that he helped me do things first, and he wanted to be in the lead. He loves being in my videos and being part of my videos because he wants to motivate all the mommies and daddies out there to clean their houses too, because he knows it's a lot of work for mommies and daddies to keep houses clean, and he tries to be as helpful as he can be.
Let me tell you this, let me tell you right now, your exquisite kiss still burning. Didn't know I missed this passion in life. Now I'm addicted somehow. Let me tell you what is up with your smile? It's impossible, not melting, irresistible. When I look through your eyes, not even sky's the limit. I used to be satisfied, stayed over the surface. Now I just can't get enough. You make me feel good like no other. I just want everyone to see what I've discovered. And when I'm with you, I go higher. You lift me up, now I can see so much farther. Beyond the horizon, beyond the horizon. I'm a butterfly who has only begun, taking me a while to get it. Had to live and cry to
to appreciate life, and what you give is worth it. When you're holding me, when you hold me so close, I want further in under your skin. Wanna leave a mark so that I can be sure that you remember what's been. I used to be satisfied.
It's already looking better in here. I actually opted not to keep the Lego boxes. They take up so much space. I just saved the extra pieces in this little yellow briefcase looking thing you see here. It's his Lego container he got for Christmas. And I saved the extra pieces in there, as well as every instruction booklet I just put in a Ziploc bag. So if we ever need to rebuild a Lego, or if anything ever falls and breaks, we know exactly how to put it back together, exactly how it was. And I feel like that is the best option. The boxes, whether they're in storage or in a closet, they take up so much space. It's just not worth keeping them. There's no need for them. So I recycled them and regret nothing. So after I moved the boxes down into the recycling, I went back upstairs and made his bed, and then I started doing the decorating to kind of make it a little bit more cohesive. It was very plain up here until I put this mural on his wall with his name, and it was all stickers. The dinosaur decals we got from Amazon, as well as the vinyl name decal, and the plaques too actually were from Amazon, and he loves them. And at the end of it, you know, there are things that I probably would have done differently, but I just used the command strips, the ones that you use to hang pictures. One side is Velcro, so they kind of stick to the wall like that. And this is exactly how James wanted me to hang them, and that's exactly what I did. He picked the color organization of how he wanted them, and I just stuck them to the wall. And he was very happy and very proud that he got to make the decision on what his room looked like at the end of the day. And I am perfectly fine with that. It's his space and it's what he likes, and I think he did a great job making it look a little bit more cohesive.
I don't wanna seem all rude, but I can't remember where I am. A mattress on an old wood floor and fragments of the night before. I don't wanna waste no time, and you don't wanna waste your love. Even though your kiss on fire, my mind is all blurry now. Feeling low, hard to breathe, but this I know, I won't leave. Waking up in a bed with my head on a chest that I don't even know, but I guess it makes sense, 'cause I know we both liked everything that happened last night. So just come back to bed, I wanna hold you, come back to bed. Oh, just come back to bed, I can tell what time it is.
Even though I was totally just guessing, it actually came out pretty even. The hats were all different sizes, so it looks like they weren't very even, but the hooks were actually pretty aligned at the end of it, and he was very happy. There were a couple extra hats that still need hooks, so I'll have to add a few more hooks for him later. And the best part is they're just command hooks, so I can just take them off the wall and not have to worry about needing to patch any holes. And he's happy, I'm happy. They're not on the couch, they have their own space, and it looks awesome.
Last night, so just come back to bed,
So before Jacob started potty training, I would also work up here. I have my desk up here, and while I was working, he would play, and that would sometimes mean the TV was on if there wasn't music playing on our Amazon Home system. And I would bring snacks and pack a lunchbox for him, and he would have at it. There would be food all over the rug. There was so many fingerprints on the TV stand, and it desperately needed a cleaning. So before I emptied out the cabinets, I actually cleaned the drawers, the doors, everything, to kind of make it not so horrendous looking. And then I was able to get in there and empty out all my junk. I mean, it was junk. It was things that I have had since I lived at home with my parents as a teenager, like high school things. I found pictures of me when I was younger, and it was crazy. It was a flashback. I found so many things. It was funny sending pictures to my parents saying, "Look what I just found," and getting a good chuckle on. They couldn't believe I still had these things, but I do, and I just moved them down into my storage room because I had zero intention of throwing them away. It was really funny to find them.
You got me feeling kinda crazy. You got me feeling like my head is spinning round. The way you look is so amazing, amazing. I could stare into your eyes for hours and hours. Everything is kinda hazy. We're just dancing in the dark in the flashing lights. I know you can't hear what I'm saying, so I'm just gonna hold you closer. You take me higher when we're together. It feels like you set my whole world on fire. I know I want you, I know I need you here. You're around me, I won't deny. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise. You're around me, I won't deny. You know you make me feel so alive. I wanna stay with you, never say goodbye. It's like we're in paradise, like we're in paradise.
I separated the Legos by vehicles and then everything else on this other side. I just had so many books that I haven't read in a very long time. The ones that I had received when I was much younger as a teenager, and I just boxed them all up and put them away. And then one side was for his Lego vehicles, the other side was for his piggy house and his figures and all the other Lego pieces that he has. And it works. He knows which side to go in when he wants to play with certain vehicles, and he knows exactly where to find everything else, and them being segmented apart works very well for him. He very easily can access what he wants on his own without help, and I greatly enjoy that. So once I got the Legos cleaned up, I was finally able to vacuum. It was just so nice and clean, so much neater than having them all piled in my living room. And he was one happy camper with having his space. So, of course, some things needed to come out again, and I went ahead and vacuumed, and then when he was done, I vacuumed his area. But I was able to get a lot of the space done. Most of the room was done except for this little area he was playing in, and I was perfectly fine with that. The before and after of this room is very nice and very pleasing to my eye. And I hope it also felt that way to you, because this is all I have for you today. I hope that you found some motivation today to get something done around your home. And if you're new and you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you here. I love making these videos. I make them every week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
Small city thinking, I get why you left. Small-minded people sure know how to drink. I came to the party, I laughed at the jokes you made. I wish that I hadn't, 'cause now the joke's on me. I didn't come here just so I could watch you make a mess. I didn't come here to ugly cry in my favorite dress. So what the hell were you thinking then when you kissed your lips? Now I'm kinda glad you did, 'cause now you